Everybody, welcome to Fight Net Radio, where Lee is burning every bridge there is out there. All right.
You're a nobody punk ass weekend disc jockey working on Sundays.
Hi, this is Mia, the Knockout St. John. You're listening to Fight Net Radio, and there's no way I would ever touch Lee.
I'll take your best shot. I'll take your best shot. I'll take your best shot. Here comes the...
Hola, soy Julio César Chávez.
And lights out, baby. Lights out all day.
This is Sugar Ray Leonard, and you listen to Fight Net Radio.
I mean, this is ridiculous. It's a radio show. It ain't a 1 hour television spectacular.
Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
We gon' know. I got eyes and ears everywhere. I got friends all over the world, man.
Who gives a shit with Whitey? He's a piece of crap.
With a tear in my eye.
This is the most aggressive and comprehensive effort to confront a foreign virus in modern history.
It's going to go away without a vaccine.
The United States are best in deaths per 100,000 people.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan. The only person who actually gets his last name with a rolled R. My name's Lee Honish. I am the host and the creator of this wacky little world we call Fight Net Radio. Today's a little later start, but you probably got the show at the same time on Sunday. But this way we got Miguel away from his day job of working with Dan Rayfield, and we can talk about the fights that happened last night. But first, let's catch up with Andrew, because it's actually Sunday afternoon. He's now spent a day and a half with his caged children. I just want to know, Andrew, what is Junior up to?
The boy is doing nothing. My daughter, Natalia, stood up for the first time today on her own. Yes.
Today was the day.
Oh, yes. She is now.
Close to a walk. We're close to a walk.
She's just grabbing the edge of the playpen and standing up now. So now when you walk into the room, she's looking at you.
Did you catch it on camera?
Yes, I did.
Excellent. And you'll be posting it because your family's the only one who listens to this show. Are you going to get it up on social media for everyone?
You know, Christina might. I usually don't do that.
Okay. And Miguel, Miguel, how is it for you standing up? I know it's a brand new motor skill for you. So.
Yeah. Well, I that one coming.
Come on, that's what we call a T-ball in my world.
Set him up, knock him. I basically just roll over like off of my bed onto like my work chair and then chat all day. So I don't actually step until it's like break. But it's a Sunday. It's a slow ass Sunday. What can I say?
It is a slow-ass Sunday. So we do have a couple of news stories to cover because we covered them 2 weeks ago, and now they're all coming to fruition. We have a UFC to cover because it's the only fighting there is. And I'm going to say this for the podcast people. You must go to the Facebook page. I'm not going to share it in any outside groups. Today is the day. I came up with it last night. We're going to review Lee Honish fight videos, and I'm going to let Andrew and Miguel do their worst and enjoy every minute of all the video I have. I'm still trying to track down the Danny Bonaducci video, which doesn't really seem to exist anymore, and I'm happy about that, actually, in a strange way, that you can't get your hands on it. I did send an email to the last person who had a copy, which is Mark Dice. I think Danny has a copy, so I'll send him an email. So maybe in a future episode, we'll do boxing. But this is my cage fight against Aaron, where Andrew got so hopped up after watching the prison shank fight with Alistair Overeem, he actually tried to call me at 10 o'clock while I was out on the beach. And he's like, don't tell me how it ends. I'm like, I wasn't going to. And the fact that you gave me one round is really polite, actually. I don't think I actually earned one round in that fight, but we'll get to it. So today, our watch along is Lee Honish versus Aaron True, including the black eye I gave him prior to the fight, the Danny Bonaducci nut grabbing incident. We're going to treat him like I was Chavez Jr., and I will make jokes at my own expense. I promise. I doubt Bob is going to want to sponsor any of my future fights. Just going to go way out on a limb on this. With that said, today's show is brought to you by Kirkland Silver Brand Tequila. when you really, really want to get drunk, go to Costco and get a thing of agave tequila made by Kirkland Products. It's not getting old for me, Andrew. It's not. It's just not. Hey, everybody. Go to Fight Net Radio because I know the broadcast people are listening to this. There are multiple versions. I'm going to say this. If you're watching this for the news stories, you're not going to see the video with Lee Honish at the very end. If you are a podcast person, you got to go to Fight Net Radio. You got to click on Facebook or you got to click on YouTube and you got to watch the video. It is not going to be shared. It's not going to show up literally anywhere if I can help it. I'm just putting it on our page. I'm embarrassed by it. I don't think I look good even at 185 pounds, which is what the fight was at. I slouch. I just slouch. It's a whole thing. Let's get started. Last night was the UFC, and we did have the UFC fighters fighting, and it was basically a shitty card. I thought the only decent fight of the night is the first fight we're going to talk about, so I'll start right there. Song Yadongadong with a big long dongadong took on Marlon Vera. Why does he have a black first name and a Mexican last name? Is anybody else picking up on this besides me? And the dude looks white. I mean, he didn't.
He's Ecuadorian. Just for the record, he's Ecuadorian.
Okay, so
anything below fucking Mexico is pretty much Mexico anyway.
I could understand that, but why wouldn't, if you were going to go with Marlon, why didn't you put the I in there and make it like the fish, which I would get, right? But Marlon, like Marlon Wayans, like he's or
Marlon Brando,
He's got a very black name with a very Hispanic last name, and the actual fight photo of him makes him look like he's straight out of the valley.
He looks kind of black, doesn't that fucking photo?
Can we talk? Andrew talked about this after the fight. Andrew got all on Song Yadong's interpreter, who was all over Song Yadong's bigadong last night. Andrew, you didn't think I'd go there, but I did, Andrew. The funniest part of that whole thing wasn't Team Alpha Male talking to him in English during the fight, or did I miss that?
I'm pretty sure they're talking to him in English, but I didn't hear any translation. Considering that it's so damn quiet in that, I think I can hear the translator, but I didn't hear it. I just heard English instruction.
Well, since we all saw it, I'll start with you, Andrew. I mean, let's be perfectly honest. Song Yadongadong, ding 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 a lang a long a dong, ramalama ding dong, che. Isn't that from? Wait, hold on. That's Greece, right? It is.
Yeah, Greece. Yeah.
Shamalama ding. Okay, Andrew. Shamalama ding dong yang dong, song dong. So song dong. One, and I thought it was a bad decision personally. Why don't you tell me what you saw with song dong? A dong.
Ooh. Yeah, you probably don't want to go there with me today with these fights. I really wasn't paying that close attention.
Were you drinking last night, Andrew?
No, Lee, there's too many flaws in the sport for me to engage all the way. I swear to God, I tried, you guys. I tried, but I just can't do it.
Song technically was a really good fighter.
There's too much laying on the cage. Nothing's happening. I'm not the guy for it. Listen, I thought his girl was in love with him, though. I've never seen a translator come in, jump in the fighter's arms like she did. And then when he tried to remove his mouthpiece, she was like, oh, shit, I got that for you. Pulls it right out of his hand and just holds on to it. She was definitely in love.
No way to go.
Yeah, she definitely wanted some dong last night. And I don't really remember the fight. So there you go.
He actually, I thought he was the most technical fighter of the night. Am I wrong about my memories? And I was the one who was drinking last night. So Miguel, I turn to you. Song Yadongadingadong was probably the most technically proficient fighter of the evening.
At least for the first round, maybe round and a half. So there was some there's some sort of issue about certain fighters being able to make it to Florida, where like his corner man Uriah Faber was weighing in that morning or the day before, in case for whatever reason some I can't pronounce the name unable to participate for whatever reason, and he weighed in just in case, and they'll have like a last replacement, something along those lines. I don't know the specifics, but anyway, point is, there was issue with the weight cut, and these fighters are like, I think, naturally 135, and they fought at 145 just because of the issues with like the sauna, all that shit. So anyway, a lot of these guys passed out, pretty bad. They were trying to kind of cut weight last minute, sort of. And for the first round, at least, Song was looking sharp. Fuck, he was connecting a lot, and we're like, damn it, fight go. And he appeared to slow down around. The second round was the real determining factor because one was a little bit closer, and Vera got a takedown. And I want to say it's kind of what he won that round with. And third round was all right, I think. But at least for the first half, punches were freaking clear as hell, and he was landing a ton of them. I was like, he's short. I was surprised how fast it was. That guy's quick. Okay.
Did I lose you?
No, I'm still here. That was it.
Oh, okay. That was it. I was wrong.
That was it. I do think Vera won though. I do like that second round was close, but I do think Vera should have taken
Vera
it.
Won. Vera won the fight. Yeah. Vera won the fight and got robbed.
I can't blame the fucking crowd because of the fucking crowd. So.
Yeah, no doubt in my mind about that. In a completely not even worth discussing kind of fight, Aris Andres loses to Krzysztof Jotko.
He's a fucking
by decision. The fight was awful. It was awful.
Yeah, the fight was bad. Dude, fucking Sanders just like, he was going to take that to death. Like, pretty much held him up against the fence. And, like, after a while of that, the referee just stepped in pretty quick. After a while of the ref doing that, frequently not getting the damn takedowns, the referee should be a little bit quicker to hop in and separate them. And it wasn't for some reason. So, yeah, it was a snooze fest, that fight, sure.
Edson Barbosa, all 465 years of age, Edson Barbosa, takes on Dan Iggy or Iggy, Ice Blue.
Iggy, I think they call it, yeah.
I think it's Iggy, too. Yeah, I think that's what they said.
We'll say Ige.
He won the fight by decision and, of course, gave props to the 137,000-year-old man, Edson Barbosa, who's been fighting in and out of cages since Jack Johnson, near as I could tell. Edson Barbosa's been around forever. I'm surprised he doesn't actually have more fights on his record. But Dan gave credit and props to Edson after the fight, which took us to the co-main event. Okay, explain to me why this was a co-main event, because their fight was not that exciting. Claudia Gadelha versus Angela Hill. They built it up like it was going to be this barn burner between two women, and much to what I agree with Andrew, way too much on the cage, way too much grind, way too much. It's like that Randy Couture thing. When he doesn't think he's going to do well, just put him on the cage and grind it out.
Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine as to why it was a co-main event. Like, me and my dad were asking the same question. It's like, I would rather have, like, there was a fight on the undercard that was like a bloodbath. The fight with Derrickens and Nate, I can't pronounce the last name, Landwehr. Dude, the fight was bloody as shit. If any fight should have been a main event, that one, because at the very least, I'm a fan of Darren's, and I know he goes in there and his ass into him every single time. And that's exactly what happened in this fight as well. But it was exciting, and it was like bloody as shit. But I'd rather choose that over the female fight. Now, there's no knock on the female fighters, because I do like watching female fights all the time. As a matter of fact, there was another one that was on the undercard, ended in an armbar. So I love watching chicks fight. It's fun as hell to watch them fight, but that one was pretty boring. Yeah.
I remember thinking during the women's fight, they should only allow them to wrestle. That's all I got.
Andrew, did you have pants on when you had that thought?
Lee, there's something about women beating the shit out of each other, swollen eyes, cut.
I think it would be great if, like, the women wrestle.
It takes all the fun out of it. It's like, why?
Maybe an oil or pancake syrup or something. I think women should just you know what? They should be topless in G-strings and just wrestle. That's hot. By the way, go ahead. By the way, to all the men who listen to the show, go ahead, do a Pornhub search. That's a real thing.
I'm sure there is.
There is. It's unbelievable that that's a thing.
No, I'm really not a fan of the Bloodfest. The UFC, Lee, the fight he's talking about with the guy that was bleeding all over the place. It's a different type of animal. when a UFC fight happens like that in the boxing, we've had, Badu Jack just went through one of these massacres not too long ago.
Badu Jack's gets a leak on the way to the ring.
Let me finish it. It's still a different type of fight. In the boxing fight, while the referee was getting bloody and all, and it looked bad, the UFC is a different monster, man. These guys are rolling around the ground. The man's blood is literally leaking all over the other dude's chest. You could see slip marks from, his hands slipping on chests, on arms. It's literally in his hair, his it's everywhere. It's fucking
all over
gross.
the canvas.
It literally reminds me of a prison fight. It reminds me of
you were saying that about
this is when the guys roll around for the death, man. Like they're rolling, they're slipping, the blood is it's a different animal. I'm telling you right now, it's not the same. It is not the same as seeing a boxer in there bleeding. Yeah, he's bleeding bad, but he's still bleeding down, and blood's not splashing on the other dude, and then he goes and grabs his arm, and you just see this slip mark all the way down his chest. Like, bro, that is prison shit. That is, the guards need to come and stun somebody. Like, we need some. Hey, and then in the final one, once again, that reminded me of a prison fight, dude. Hey, we'll get to it, but yeah, that one where he was bleeding all over, that fight could have been that should have been stopped. There was no need to continue with that. That was some gruesome stuff. You got to be a different animal.
And in the main event of the evening, 5 rounds in the heavyweight division. Introducing Walt. I'm really sad about my kid Harris.
Be real gentle, Lee. You gotta be real gentle about where you take this one.
For who? We're all boxing fans here.
No. No, you gotta be real gentle. This is 6 months old.
All right. Hold on. All right, I'm going to treat this like a real story. Walt Harris has a real issue that occurred with his stepdaughter.
Yeah.
Okay. Miguel, please expand upon the entire backstory for the room so they know I won't add any possible humor to this moment.
All right. So last I recall, I guess back in I think it was November. I think it was his stepdaughter disappeared, and she went missing for, I don't remember if it was 2 weeks or something like that. But anyway, ultimately they ended up finding her body, and she was murdered. I don't know if she was kidnapped or anything. She was missing, and ultimately she was found. And then to my knowledge, they found the person who was the perpetrator, I guess, whoever was responsible for this, and the dude's already in jail as far as I know. But yeah, basically he lost his stepdaughter back in, I want to say, November.
It seemed through the report that they told us last night, it seemed that he was still going through trial. They never gave us a conclusion to that man's sentence. They show him basically in court when he's getting his guilt. You're being charged, his charges.
Yeah.
And thought it was real shitty of that UFC reporter to ask that man. He asked Walt Harris why he didn't jump over the fucking the gate to get at him, Lee. He literally asked him that. That dude should be fired for that. You're asking a man why he didn't commit a crime for a child that was murdered? Seriously, on national television, that's where we're going with this? Why? Because you want him to act emotional? You want a fucking tear out of him? There's shame on the UFC and shame on the reporter for doing that to that man. Second, this thing was way too early. 6 months. 6 months. Lee, before the fight started, they go, oh, it's the heaviest he's ever been. We should have known right there this is not a good night for him. He breaks down during the interview, literally crying like it just happened yesterday, totally not over it. And then he comes in the heaviest he's ever been. Stupid. I understand because he's 36. There might not be time to spare anymore. He's hot right now. He needs to hit it while it's hot. I get all that. Sometimes your team needs to look out for the benefit of the fighter more than the fighter, and you need to tell him you're not fucking ready. You're not ready for Overeem. So go ahead. You guys continue.
Flag is up, and away they go. It's Andrew Labouche, Walt Harris, Alistair Overeem going into the first turn. Coming out of the first turn, it's Walt Harris with an amazing takedown. He's all over Overeem. He's all over him. He's out by 5 lengths. Here comes Andrew Labouche up the side. He overtakes Alistair Overeem. He's running away with it. Oh, wait. At the back turn, Alistair Overeem with a late burst for the win.
I'm shaking, Lee. Are you serious? Don't be talking horses to me right now. It's been weeks.
You know, first of all, shout out to Sam Navajero, who reviews every single show to tell me whether or not I'm on point with my humor. So I'm on point with that one.
Yeah.
Alistair Overeem did get the win, and I basically told you the outcome of this fight. Walt Harris had a opening where he had a window of opportunity. He got Overeem with a pretty stiff punch, got Overeem down because Overeem has the biggest glass jaw in the heavyweight division. I thought everyone knew that. I mean, ever since the guy stopped taking steroids, he's had the glassiest glass jaw, and Walt Harris exposed it. And then we discovered the biggest flaw in Walt Harris's game. He has no ground skill. Not sort of, kind of, not some, not, hey, I practiced on the ground occasionally. This dude literally looked, how do I even put this into terms that give it the correct justification, Miguel? This dude looked like, well, he looked like,
amateurish. I mean, he just looked amateurish.
I can't even find the appropriate analogy.
Let me help you out. How about 36 and fat? That's what he looked like to me. He did not look like an athlete when he got in the ring, Lee. He kind of looked heavy.
Did he not finish Overeem?
Yeah. I mean, 36 fat really describes me, for fuck's sake. And I'm just,
I just think if he was in shape, he does finish over him. It's not hard in the UFC. Hammer fists, just keep hammer fisting the dude until they stop the fight.
And especially Overeem, because Overeem is pretty shot. Like, you touch him once and he's down, and it just seems like, but there's a sense of like amateur from Harris, because when you a guy, if you notice those difference when Alistair hurt Harris, he was very methodical with his punch. He didn't like an ape shit and Donkey Kong, start throwing a bunch of hammers. He was very methodical and threw punches when that make the landing, and ultimately he got the stoppage. And when Harris hurt Overeem, he went fucking berserk. Like, dude, calm the fuck down, don't blow wide. Pick your shots, make sure that the shots are landing. Because, some of the shots were blocked by Overeem's arms, which is one of the reasons why, he was able to survive that early onslaught. But, I mean, that inexperience was, like, super fucking obvious. And not to mention, he's fat, so he was going to get that was probably his shot, knowing he wasn't going to go into the second round with a full tank of gas. So he's like, fuck it, I heard him here. I'm going to play wide. If I can finish it, great. If not, because even in the second round, he came out okay, but I can hit the ground, it was done.
Let me also say, I've seen a fair number of UFC fights. I thought that referee did a hell of a job of not stopping that fight. I've seen UFC fights get stopped for a lot less damage on the ground. And basically, when the dude gets dropped and the hammer fists start raining down, they jump in there like they're supposed to. Last night, I was like, oh, wow, all right, you're letting that dude get his ass kicked. Like, they kind of stretched it a little, and that really helped Overeem because Harris got tired and didn't have a second wad to blow. So, that there was a little bit of that too. I gotta believe if Walt Harris was like the poster child of the UFC, they would have stopped that fight on like 3 or 4 hammer fists when he had Overeem on the ground, because he was pummeling him at that moment. They kind of just let it play out, and the dude gassed and didn't get the finish. So, Ike Corte, De La Hoya, 12th round all over again. I mean, Corte looks out. Mitch Halpern does nothing to stop the fight. Fucking De La Hoya blows his wad. Corte comes back and basically dominates the end of that round. And same thing happened last night.
There you go. That's your UFC update. Hey, everyone. Go to fightnetradio.com. Do I have a Miguel? I got to put a Miguel bio on the page. All right. Yeah, well, I know you're listed on there as staff.
And I guess you could say, guess you could even say the referee did the same on the finish to Harris. There was no need for letting Overeem slap him in the fucking side of his head, 20 times, 30 times. He had him totally stretched out, and I just heard someone in the back kept screaming, Overeem wants a body. That's all I kept thinking I was hearing while they were letting that dude stick him on the side of his neck.
Here's my big knock on Overeem, who lacks a great deal of ground skill. He's a complete stand-up fighter, but he's been fighting since the dawn of MMA, basically. And again, Alistair Overeem on steroids is different than this Alistair Overeem. This is not the guy.
This is not the K1 guy.
This is not.
It's
This is
not
not
the
even
pride
remote.
Japan eating horse meat, motherfucker. Not right.
Yeah, no, definitely. He was with Canelo tableside having, Mexican cattle.
Oh, he was way before Canelo. Shit, that boy.
I don't even think Canelo was born when Alistair Overeem
Exactly.
started fighting, which is even funnier.
He's like the history of steroids. Is that what you're saying?
He's pretty close. I mean, you could cut off an arm and count the rings for sure. I mean, you could definitely. But here's the thing that I found most interesting. So he gets Walt Harris's back in probably the most back-givey back moment in the history of MMA. Yeah. He gets the hooks in, which for those of you who are just boxing fans, that means you sink both legs in, you basically, your feet go in, they lock in on the other side. And if you're thinking, that wouldn't hold me, you would be wrong. That's why they're called hooks.
Yeah,
Once you get your legs in and you actually drop your ankle.
And it's over.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
And you're fucked.
You can put an arm around somebody's neck. You could literally bite their ear off. You can blow whispers in there. Like, you can do whatever you want. You can have sex with your partner.
Things in the ear.
In the pizza, if the cops don't come, that's a body. That's a wrap.
It's my go-to to dates. Like, if my dates are going sideways and they're like, I don't think you're that tough. I've watched your videos. I can sing hooks.
Like, oh, watch this.
Watch this, right? And it puts me right into position, man. I'm just right there and poop, right there.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
God. Put a hand over their mouth.
Oh no! Don't!
Right, a little hair pulling. Hair pulling's legal in the bedroom.
I feel like we're gonna be in court one day. You keep down this path.
Hair pulling's legal. Hair pulling's legal.
Yeah.
Leaves the breasts
I'm gonna
exposed.
have to put my hand on a Bible or something.
I'm just saying, everybody should go take a couple of years of jujitsu if you're having difficulty in the bedroom. I'm just saying, might change your life. Just saying. That's a real thing. Strangely, that's a real thing in my life where that actually has happened.
Did you guys notice? Did you guys notice how quiet everyone was at the end of this thing, though? No one wanted Overeem to win last night. Nobody. It was just a total letdown.
Well, Harris had the win. Look,
he did, but you could almost see it.
Dude.
Yeah. Well, it's like, the heartwarming story. Of course, we all wanted him to win. But, it didn't that way,
and then not lose like that. You know what I mean? That was almost like...
Whoa. Hold on. You're letting this go? You called it a heartwarming story? Miguel, yeah. I'm not going to let that one go. I'm just not going to let that one go.
well, because everybody wanted Harris to win. We're all cheering for him, right? That's...
This is a Dateline episode with a bad ending, is what it is.
A real bad ending.
I expect the guy with the voiceover, and then Walt Harris tried to go back to the world of MMA, where he was defeated soundly in round number 2.
Seriously, they should have looked like for an opponent that wasn't a legend and hadn't, been through multiple MMA backgrounds. Probably should have looked for a little bit lesser of an opponent.
Look, call Nadu up. All right, let's see Nadu Ndungo against Alistair Overeem. I'm down with that.
Is he the dumbass? Is he the dumbass that immediately tweeted? Is he the dumbass that immediately tweeted after the fight, find Alana or Alea, who, whatever his daughter's name was?
No.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Oh,
he put
that was him?
Find her. He goes, I can't believe Harris is going through this. What a heart of a champion, blah, blah. And then he put hashtag find his little girl's name. It was like, dude, they did find her.
Does he think she's still... Oh, my God. No way. He doesn't
kind of blew that one big.
Oh, man. Oh, blow it. That's a Lee Honish faux pas if I ever heard it. Well, shout out to Walt Harris. I hope they find your daughter, bro.
Don't.
Too soon?
Oof.
That's why this is only bonus content for the podcast. Now we go back to boxing. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight. I always wonder what podcast people think at this moment. They're like, why is he restarting the show? Because you're not looking at the video. I'm chopping this up 400 ways. Choppy, bro. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Fight Net Radio. Lee Honish, Andrew Labouche, Miguel Antonio Barragan. We're going to talk boxing. Bonus content for UFC fans and Fight Net Radio fans. Always. You can go to fightnetradio.com and get some way to listen to it. There are multiple ways. We're on the radio. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. And, of course, we're available. Where's the download link to listen to it? Oh, iTunes is there. All right. We got iTunes, iHeart, and Spotify. That's all you need. More than enough. Actually, we're on Google and 600 other platforms. But I digress. Let's talk real boxing because we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I wanted to start this part of the show off. Have either of you guys ever had rat problems in your house?
Ooh. No.
No.
I got rat issues, dude.
Not at all.
What the hell?
We had one after the earthquake.
Did you?
Oh.
The big earthquake? Yeah, after the big earthquake. I remember that when I was little. We had a rat in our house. Yep.
No, I've got a rat problem. I mean, it's really starting to
Well,
bug me.
are they are they demolishing anywhere near you?
There you go. In Europe.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus.
Round and round.
All right, I didn't write that joke.
Tell
I
me
saw it on a Geico ad. I saw it a digital Geico ad where they do this. We got a rat problem upstairs, and it's rat in their bathroom singing round and round, which I thought was the funniest thing I had ever seen.
Yeah. See how you said seen?
No, visually it worked. I mean, audio wise it worked here too. All right, let's talk boxing. That's what you guys really care about. This is what's getting shared in the group. And if you're new to like us online or you're new to the podcast, yeah, this is pretty much the show and my humor level. Enjoy. It doesn't really get better from here. It's true. It's true. Let's start off with Conor McGregor, since we were kind of talking UFC and all the bells and whistles that go along with the Conor-ness. Boxing among McGregor's plans, but he says he's going to do MMA first. For those of you not following along, Conor McGregor has called out, tell me if I'm wrong about this, Miguel. He's called out everyone in the UFC. And Andrew, correct me if I'm wrong, he's called out everybody in boxing officially this past 72 hours. Like ever since Gaethje messed up this dude's life, everything in this dude's life has changed. So now he's literally looking for any fight ever. So this comes to us from the Manila, Philippines, so you know it's probably a real story, mostly. By the way, this is the Inquirer.net is the same publication that writes all the insane. Manny Pacquiao is now going to be a superhero in the Philippines. Okay, whatever, bro. Whatever. He's going to be president, Manny Pacquiao. Okay, right. Whatever. This is the same paper that I go to time and time again. And by the way, I never found this story anywhere else. I just couldn't wait to read it out loud because I guarantee, knowing the Inquirer and the fact that it's out of Manila, Philippines, this is just something somebody wrote on a Friday for no good reason. A return to boxing is among Conor McGregor's plans, but not to his top priority. Audi Attar, McGregor's manager, said MMA superstar is more included to appear in the octagon first before resuming his boxing career. Oh, he's actually got quotes. That's why he lifted it from MMA Junkie. Look at him.
Look
Boxing
at that.
is definitely. He quoted his source. Boxing is definitely something he plans on doing, but I think he's thinking MMA first. Okay, so he doesn't know. This is hilarious. I think he's thinking. You know what, Andrew? I think you're thinking on being heavyweight champion. So
yes,
that's probably true.
I've been thinking about it. That's true.
Have you? And
yeah.
Miguel, I think you've been thinking about being the UFC heavyweight champion. So therefore, it's
It'll
probably
be
true.
And I think I can actually beat him in about 8 rounds.
Now you're just getting into Chavez territory, okay? You got to stop that. I'm thinking like I can win that fight. Sure. You keep on thinking that think. What is it with people? And I think they're thinking like this, thinking, really? Are you psychic? I mean, are you talking to the dead in your spare time? Like, I hate this line from managers and fighters. I'm thinking I can win. Really? You're thinking it. The last person who actually said, I'm thinking I'm going to win was Evander Holyfield. And that's because he was thinking God was talking to him. And he was actually right. I was prepared to join the Evander Holyfield religious order after God told him he was going to beat Mike Tyson. I was prepared because I sure as hell didn't think his thinking was going to be solid. But now we got a manager who's thinking he's thinking about thinking about thinking. And by the way, I'll tell you why this is bullshit. I don't need to read the rest of the story. If Conor said, I want to fight Floyd for another $100 million. Guess what? That's the fight. I don't know if you're going to get it.
Fighting Floyd.
Yeah, I think he's thinking about fighting Floyd. I mean, it just depends on how it plays out. Listen to the most non-committal quotes ever. Boxing is definitely something in his plans on doing, but I think he's thinking MMA first. You think. And who the opponent is. It could be Justin Gaethje. That's a pipe dream because Gaethje doesn't want to fight him. Or Tony Ferguson. That's more likely, but probably not. It could be someone else. Wow, did you just cover all your bases there with that one line? I think he's thinking about MMA first. He's thinking about boxing too. I don't know. And you know what? He's thinking of fighting Justin Gaethje or Tony Ferguson. Or you know what? Maybe someone else. I don't know. In fact, I don't know why you're interviewing me. I'm just saying shit that comes out of my mouth. Attar might be the worst interview of all time. If I was an MMA junkie, my follow-up question would have been, you just told us nothing. You literally, we could have said that. I think
there's a lot of words but not say jack shit.
I mean, why don't we do a show like this? I'm already excited about it. You know what? And it's going to be in the title. Real Thoughts of Mike Tyson, right? That'll be the headline because we got Mike Tyson stories coming up. I think Mike's thinking about fighting, I don't know, Anthony Joshua or Tyson Fury or Shannon Briggs or someone else. Wow. You covered all your bases there, didn't you? Huh? It just depends on how things play out and where he wants to take it. Really, this is just such a shitty interview. Ultimately, I think all the fans want to see him fight. No. Really? The guy we gave $100 million to fight Floyd, you think people want to see him fight again? Really? Because he throws chairs and acts like a dipshit and sells shitty alcohol?
Yeah.
So it
dollars.
depends.
He throws dollars.
So it doesn't matter who he fights. Wait, and then the best line, doesn't matter who he fights. He'll fight someone. This is the greatest interview of all time.
No, Andrew? It's not. You're giving him way too much time.
Andrew, when I fight again, and you know I'm going to do it, I want you to do an interview like this on any publication. Here's what I think Lee's thinking. I think he's thinking about fighting for the heavyweight title or fighting another amateur. You know what? He might be thinking about shaving his pubic hairs after the match. I don't know. I really don't. But I know that people like watching him or they don't. I don't know. That's what this is. I mean, this is literally like, I feel like I should send this to the president. This is Donald Trump like. The pandemic is definitely something I plan on looking at, but I think Mr. Fauci is thinking about a cure. I don't know who's going to cure it. It could be anyone. Could be the CDC. Could be this. Could be that.
It could be soon. It could be now. Or later.
It just depends on how things play out and where the pandemic actually goes. Ultimately, I think people are going to die, but we'll be on the low end as compared to us doing nothing. What? By the way, he said that. That's an actual quote. Oh my God. By the way, for everybody who listens to the intro and goes, you seem to be all over Trump. I don't have to be all over Trump. He says Trump physically makes me laugh out loud on an evening basis. Like, I don't think he knows how funny he actually is. When you say that you're number one or you're in the top level of deaths per 100,000, like that's a real quote that came out of your face. That's awesome. And you're the president, bro. There is hope for me. Honest to God, I don't think Trump could get a job as a manager at McDonald's, but the dude got the presidency. I mean, could you imagine the manager at McDonald's? Oh, you don't feel well. You should drink bleach. He would get fired. No, go home, drink bleach. Maybe some sunlight. Can you try to get some sunlight in your body? They'd complain to human resources. They'd fire his ass at McDonald's. Sorry, I went off on a rant. All right, let's talk about the Conor McGregor sweepstakes because clearly he wants back in the game. Andrew, do you think he's going to go boxing or MMA?
MMA.
What do you think?
He got his ass kicked in boxing. He got brain damage. He was only there for about 4 rounds. So he sticks to MMA.
Okay. Then if that's the case, are we going to agree with that on the Miguel side? Point to counterpoint.
No, I agree. Yeah, I mean, right now, his last fight was a fucking, was like a quick with Cerrone. So I mean,
Cerrone.
Yeah, there's a little bit of interest Yeah, exactly, Ronnie. There's a little bit of interest, yeah, but I don't know. He's already back into the octagon. I'm pretty sure Dana's going to want to keep him there right now. He's not going back to boxing, at least not anytime soon.
Okay, so here's my question, Miguel.
Yeah.
We know he can't be Tony Ferguson. He sure as fuck shouldn't get in the ring with Gaethje. And we already know what the outcome of him fighting Khabib looks like. It's not pretty.
Yeah, he's a has-been then.
Well,
I mean, there's a lot of weights still around. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of weights that he can beat, but I mean, like, definitely not those guys. It's a bit, like, he may have a decent shot at Kukui or fucking Ferguson, because Ferguson right now is hurt and he's going to probably be out for a little bit. I would be interested in watching a fight like that. Gaethje, definitely not. We already know what happened with Khabib. There's a ton of other lightweights out there, I mean, it's like, I'm sure he can fight any one of those other guys. I don't know, maybe co-main event or something, because I mean, realistically, there's no point in putting his ass. I mean, I guess for the sake of his fucking star power, put him in the main event, title main events. But I don't know. There's plenty of other lightweights that aren't those top fucking 3 or 4 that we just mentioned.
I'm gonna go with boxing because he can get another $100 million payday. I bet you he's gonna get this Floyd thing one more time. Bet you.
No, really?
Calling my shot.
What's
but then
Floyd's
again, I
asking
still
price
believe that
be?
Floyd's going to fight Manny Pacquiao, and I'm sticking to that. And I've said it forever.
In Japan, fucking exhibition.
China, Macau, Macau with Pacquiao in Macau. All right, moving forward to our next big story of the week. Mike Tyson, which we premiered a week ago. The Mike Tyson sweepstakes has begun. Everybody's lining up to get a piece of him. And there are 2 front runners. And one of them just happens to be AEW. You were talking about this, Miguel. What's his deal with AEW?
Well,
Or do we need to
as far as
explain
I understand,
AEW, first of all? For those of you who don't know, they're the latest wrestling promotion that Cody Rhodes created along with a couple of other wrestlers that if I said the names, Young Bucks, you guys would go, what the hell is that? So don't worry about it. I'm not going to go there.
Kenny Omega and
Cody
those guys,
Rhodes is the son of Dustin Rhodes, which go ask your dad or somebody older who Dusty Rhodes is.
Yes,
but just remember,
the younger half brother of Goldust. If you guys know who Goldust is.
Just remember, baby.
Oh yeah,
hard times. It's hard times. What you did to me, Ric Flair, you put me on hard times. Oh my God, best promo.
The Common
Man. Common Man. And then they put polka dots on him and put him with a fat black lady.
Yes, thank you, Vince, for that one. Motherfuck. Damn.
Nice, right? All right. So Cody, his son. Okay, what's the whole Mike Tyson angle here with Lance Archer, Cody Rhodes? What's? Are you into this? Are you following this?
Half, like, I do follow AEW. I don't have TNT to watch like their weekly shows, but when they had their first pay-per-view at the MGM last year, I think it was in May, I went to that. It was pretty dope. The matches are pretty sick. Like that they focus more on the in-ring work than the characters, but regardless, the characters are decent. It's fun as hell to watch. It is hella exciting for those wrestling fans out there. I'm sure you already know, but wrestling interests you in the slightest bit, I would probably suggest checking it out. But as far as I know, Mike Tyson's involvement is presented. If you guys did follow wrestling when you guys were younger, there was a version of a championship belt called the T title, right? That used to be defended on TV with like 15-minute time limit matches, etc., etc. Apparently, AEW is going to do something similar to it called the TNT title because they are on TNT, the channel. So they have sort of TNT championship title presented, and Tyson's going to be doing the presenting. I don't think he's going to be a ref or anything like that. He was back in the day, or sort of quote unquote special enforcer. I just think he's going to be there presenting the belt. But as far as I've read, that's his. It's just presenting the belt.
All right, let's find out if Andrew's an AEW fan. Andrew, there's no party like fill in the blank.
Nope. No, I'm not a AEW fan, so
okay,
I don't know it.
Watch what the correct answer is here. I'll do it with Miguel, and he'll get it right.
Uh-oh.
Ain't no party what fill in the blank.
Like a super kick party?
That's correct. Somebody follows the duck. Ain't no party like a super kick party. You bought the shirt, didn't you? Come on, don't lie to me.
Oh,
don't lie to me.
Let's believe it's
Mike Tyson has been everywhere between Hot Box and his podcast, his crazy quotes, his pot farm, and now presenting a championship belt on TNT. Mike Tyson is making himself known. And why is that? Well, that's because everybody wants to fight him. So coming off the heels of our first amazing, I think he's thinking about fighting moment, which I just found very hilarious in that whole quote there. Shannon Briggs is going to chime in. I spoke to Mike. It's official. The fight's happening. Yeah, sure, Shannon. Sure. I don't even need to read the article. This says it all. I spoke to Mike Tyson. It's official. Nowhere in boxing does that make it official. Nowhere. We had a handshake agreement. We're really fighting on, August 31st.
Counts.
Yeah, right. We were at a bar and we were drinking, and Mike said, "Yeah, sure, I'll fight you." I don't even need to read the are there actual quotes to this craziness? The money is there. The money is almost there. I'll leave it at that. What? Okay. The money is there. The money is almost there. I'll leave it at that. Andrew, how long till Shannon Briggs delivers a cake to Mike Tyson?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this, if this is real or not. First they thought it was real, then the owner of Bare Knuckles said he didn't make the offer. And now we have Shannon Briggs going on the radio saying that there's talk somewhere. Obviously, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you got to think somebody's trying to make a nickel off of these older guys that are trying to get back into the fight game. Sadly, I think this all points to Mike Tyson's hurting for money again. We've seen him on movies. We've seen him on Broadway. We've seen his weed farm, his podcast. But if Mike Tyson does get back into the ring, it only leads to one conclusion, and that's that he's broke again. If it's the bills that he owes, back taxes, child support,
alimony,
and let me get my baby to the mommy.
Right on cue.
Right on cue. Cue the baby. Miguel, your feelings on? I think he's thinking about fighting me. Basically, that's what Shannon Briggs is. I think he's thinking about fighting me or someone else.
Yeah.
Or someone else.
Exactly. Every time I hear anything come out of fucking Briggs' mouth, I just, with a grain of salt, it's like, dude, whatever. But I don't ever believe anything if you can say anyway. Until it's, officially announced. No, I think he's full of shit. I think, he's the kind of guy that will stir controversy, the things that he's done with Klitschko, where did he go to his camp or something, or he ran into him at a restaurant or some shit. He's always like to stir shit up, and this is just exactly that. It's just him stirring shit up. I don't think there's anything to it whatsoever.
Do you even believe that he talked to Mike on the phone? I don't even.
Oh, hell no, son. Not that, no.
This is all happening in his mind, right?
Yeah. It's like maybe he tweeted him something, and he's like, "Oh, we talked." I sent him a tweet.
Yeah, right. We're friends on social media.
Mike Tyson's getting ready for something, though. He if you guys look at what shape this guy's in right now, it's incredible. Now maybe it's a movie. Maybe Mike Tyson's doing all this for publicity, and then they're going to announce he's doing some big movie with Arnold and Sylvester Stallone, another old man.
Expendables or whatever.
Yeah, another Expendables thing, and then this was all build up for that or something. But he's getting ready for something. The last time I heard, when Mike went bankrupt a few years ago, about his fourth time, he bought a house right away in Arizona. It was for a few million, I believe, Lee, when we looked it up. And it was like, how can he afford, a $3 million house when he just went bankrupt? It was somewhere in the ballpark, I think, of $3 million he bought. And, they live this type of lifestyle where, maybe he's not broke today, but his advisors are telling him, look, if you don't get one more payday, your money's going to run out by da-da-da, right? So he's got to try to fool us. He's got to try. If this is real, his comeback, this is all a show. He's going to fool everyone. He's going to get his little $5 million payday. He's going to go in there and he's going to tell everyone how sad he is. And he doesn't have basically the same show he did last time on Showtime, when he fucking gave that sad ass performance and then basically started crying in the post-fight interview of how he didn't have it anymore. That was a robbery. Yeah. He robbed us on that night. He knew damn well he wasn't going to win that fight. So if we fall for it again, all these 15 years later, shame on us, not shame on Mike. But he's getting ready for something. You don't keep posting these videos and look that good of shape at 53, 54, whatever he is now, and tell me it's not for something.
I don't disagree. Which takes us to Evander Holyfield, who believes that he's got to fight with a Mike Tyson trilogy. I didn't get the Riddick Bowe fight. Didn't get it.
It's a late surprise.
He's not doing the Super Six. According to Evander Holyfield, there have been discussions with Mike. Mike's having a lot of discussions with people on the phone.
Yeah, apparently.
It would be really funny if Evander had a quote that said, "I think Mike's thinking about fighting me or fighting Shannon Briggs or someone else."
Yeah. I think Shannon Briggs is thinking about Mike Tyson, about me taking Riddick Bowe.
I kid you not that I already know that I'm going to compete again in some kind of sporting competition, and I swear to you I'm going to do some show and they're going to ask me the question. I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking when I'm done with this fight, then I'm going to fight the heavyweight champion in the UFC. Or maybe, you know what I'm thinking? I want a piece of, Conor McGregor. I'm going to cut to 155. That's what I'm thinking. Or someone else. But that's what I'm thinking. My God. I'm never ever going to let this line go. Ever. This is the greatest quote ever. I think he's thinking. My God, it's so good. I want to call the show I Think He's Thinking, and then I really want to do a show of I Think He's Thinking. We'll just pick a boxer and go, what do you think Oscars think he's thinking? Hey, fucker, shut up. I'll tell you what I'm thinking. I need fishnets and kitchen utensils. All right, shut up. That's what I think he's thinking. When in fact, Oscar's probably trying to figure out how to make more money. Probably. Or something else. All right. Evander and his crazy mind. His people have been talking to my people. Oh my God, that's a bad start. His people. First of all, we've looked this up. Evander has no money, so he has no people. So it's changing his voice.
That was a slow pitch right there, Evander.
That's a low pitch. This is just hanging fruit for someone like me. You don't have people, bro. You don't have people. You have kids. Are your kids taking the call?
He meant his wife. He meant his wife and picked up the phone, Lee. What the fuck? My people.
Have I ever told you the most shocking phone? So back in the day when I was married and first starting Fight Net Radio, the most incredible thing I ever heard in my entire life was my ex-wife walking out to my office and going, "I think Sugar Ray Leonard's on the phone for you." Really? That's interesting. Yeah, that's a good one.
They should have followed up right.
He was thinking.
They should have followed up right here, Lee, with did you also talk to Bo's people? I bet you he would have said, "Oh yeah, we also talked to Bo's people." Yeah, that's
my people have been talking to Bo's people, and I think he's thinking about fighting or not fighting. I really don't.
He's almost
know.
there. The money's almost there.
Oh my God! His people have been talking to my people. Are you shitting me? And we haven't got a solid deal together. Then why is this an article? Why are we talking?
Podcasts. A lot of this shit is on podcasts, though. Shannon Briggs is on a podcast. He's on a podcast.
Here's the thing. I don't want to interview these people, and I can get them. Because the reality is the first time somebody says, "I think I'm thinking about doing this," I'm going to go, "I also think you can run for president." Like, I know I can't control myself.
Right.
Somebody's going to give me one of these bullshit answers like my people talk to his people. What people do you have, Evander? I mean, seriously. I mean, you got kids. Are the kids your people? I mean, you got lots of those and no money. So you're not hiring. Like, I just know that I'm going to go off the deep end if I actually get somebody. And by the way, I know all of you think that would make the greatest moment ever, but you know nothing about Fight Net Radio history at all. Every time I interview somebody, it always turns into bad shit. Even when I'm trying to explain to somebody what their life's about to be like. Miguel saw it firsthand. It literally turned into some kind of weird thing with managers on the stage.
With Ali?
Did that not get weirdly odd?
It did, dude. It got tense like a motherfucker. It was like weird. I don't even know where the hell to point the camera. Like, towards the very end, I was like, this is kind of getting a little intense. Like, are there going to be fucking fists thrown and shit?
Yeah, and basically what I got this dude to say was, well, we could be the champion of, like, Iceland. I'm like, yeah, because you don't work for one of the big organizations. That's my point. You're like 12, bro. Like, you just went 12 rounds and tore Tyson Fury up. Like, you bloodied him, and you're about to go back to a country that has, what, 5 fighters, maybe? I don't, I was so...
Yeah, stay on this one. Look at what Holyfield, look at what he puts the next sentence down from that paragraph.
Okay. If it happens, that's no problem. The thing is, he was doing something, I was doing something. When I told people about it, they saw me working out. No, they didn't. You worked out second already. Like, first of all, this, I don't even need to get past right here, Andrew. He worked out second. I don't want to break it to anybody. If Vander in his mind now thinks he was working out first and they're putting the two of you together, you called out Riddick Bowe, bro. Like, are you that brain dead? They must be coming together to do this like this. This is an actual quote. This is so crazy. I believe this is a real quote.
I was always planning to come back. You know, it's not just because Mike Tyson said he wants to make a comeback.
Yeah.
If it happens, that's no problem. The thing is, look, he was doing something and I was doing something. When I told people about
everybody's thinking.
Yeah, right. Again, we're back to the bullshit answers. He's doing something. I'm doing something. Well, what was the something you were doing? It was something. Before I was doing something, I was doing nothing. And before I was doing nothing, I was having kids. Okay, great. You got that totally nailed, bro. When I told people about it, they saw me working out and they kind of put 2 and 2 together. No, they didn't. You hadn't worked out yet. They didn't worked out, bro. They didn't. You called out Shannon Briggs. Where's the? I mean, you called out Riddick Bowe. I mean, you tried to get a fight with a guy who's literally, basically, the only way I can describe Riddick Bowe.
He's not all there right now.
He looks like a pudding cup. He looks and behaves like a Hunt's pudding cup. Like you can everybody go to the refrigerator, open up a Hunt's pudding cup, and look down at it, a big chocolate pile of goo, and go.
And actually, you've seen Bowe slipping even when he was in his career. The Galata fights took a lot out of Riddick Bowe. So
all they did.
They must be coming together to do this like this.
I think that third one really did it. That third one did it.
What is this crazy ass quote? They must be coming together to do this like this. But the fact of the matter is, I don't mind if we do something like this. Wow, what a quote. Hold on.
That's
Let me read that all as a sentence. How is he going to get licensed? How is this fucking head job going to get licensed with a sentence? And this is no bullshit, people. I'm going to read it verbatim. They must be coming together to do this like this. But the fact of the matter is, I don't mind if we do something like this. What? Is there like cliff notes for like when Evander talks? Like, is there subtitles or something? We think he's thinking this, but this is what he's saying.
They're fucking translators.
Yeah, right. We need a Google Translate.
Can we bring that Korean chick that was with the song real quick just to kind of translate this?
I feel like putting this through. Wait, hold on. Google Translator. Let's see if I can help this. Maybe translator. Is English his first language? So I'm going to translate it into, maybe this was a European show, right? So I'm going to put it in, and I want it put to Spanish, right? Maybe he was doing the Spanish show. No, let's do it Arabic. He could have been doing an Arabic show. Now I'm going to take the Arabic. Hold on. Let's take the Arabic here. And copy that. And then translate that back into English. And let's see. They should be together to work this way. See, it comes out better this way. They should be together to work this way. But the fact of the matter is that I don't mind if we do something like this. So taking Evander Holyfield's speech, putting it into Arabic, and then Arabic back to English makes more sense than what Evander Holyfield actually said. We should be together to work this we should be together to work this way. Yeah, right. I agree. But the fact of the matter is, I don't mind if we do something like this. Wow, that's totally actually intelligent.
Sense. Totally makes sense. Now let's
totally
read
makes sense, right? Now let me do the original. They must be coming together to do this like this. But the fact of the matter is, I don't mind if we do something like this. What? Okay, and I'm going to do this again because this isn't a joke and I'm actually shooting video. Translate it to Arabic, back into English. They should be working together to work this way. I like it. They should be together to work this way. But the fact of the matter is that if we do this, I don't mind if we do this. I love this. This is so funny that you can translate Evander to Arabic back to intelligible. I want to take the whole article now. Hold on.
Oh, don't. Come on.
We got it. Wait. Don't we need to do the whole quote? Come on.
Don't have to do the whole quote. It's good. That was golden, Lee. That was golden.
Well, more Evander quotes. I can fight any fighter in any era of heavyweights.
Oh,
yeah,
no.
Sure, Evander. Wait, I'm going to translate this quote because clearly they just took it out of context. Now that I know that we need to translate him to Arabic back to English, he'll make more sense. So let's see what his crazy ass quote was. I was a boxer. No, really? And because I knew how to box real well, oh my God, I could adapt to different styles. I could have fought in any era. I could be in there with any heavyweight, Holyfield told Boxing Scene in an interview. I knew how to fight inside and outside. I knew how to slip shots of longer guys. I had a decent hand speed. I moved really well and had good footwork. I had lots of combinations and threw a lot of punches.
Okay, he's already in the old
I
people.
heard people. I was a student of the game. Dude, he's Deontay Wilder crazy.
No. Lee, this is showing his age. This man's almost 60 years old, and you know what? The industry is gone from him. Everyone that he sees is either that he remembered is either dead or gone from the sport, and he's literally telling us what he used to be. This is sad. This is like I'm looking out the window at the retirement home talking. I used to be Evander. We know who you are. Everybody knows who Evander Holyfield is. What has he got, dementia? We don't know that he used to be one of the best fighters of all time?
Dude,
does he not remember that? Wait a minute. Seriously, does Evander Holyfield not remember that he's one of the greatest heavyweights of all time?
He's still
very sad. That's very alarming, that quote.
Andrew, he really for 2 weeks tried to get a fight with Riddick Bowe, who is not even active. So what is the discussion here?
Yeah. I find it alarming that he talked like this on an interview. Does he not remember that we know who he is?
Apparently not.
Apparently not, Lee.
What do you think, Miguel?
I mean, he definitely sounds like he's out there, like he's like it's almost it's
he's
rambling
questioning,
almost,
right? It sounds like he's questioning if we even know who he is. Oh, I used to be real good. I fought on the inside, the outside, fought with any of them. Yeah, no shit, fool. You're Evander Holyfield. The fuck is wrong with this guy?
I fought here, I fought there, I fought everywhere. I was savoir faire. Wow,
damn it!
Fair quote. That was
damn
funny.
it!
All right, let's see what it says translated into Evander speak. I knew how to fight on the inside and out. All right. I know how to boil. I know how to boil the tallest men.
Oh, shit. No. I told you were golden once, bro. Told you.
I moved really well and got my good feet. Sure, you got good feet. I hear you. I had a lot of fixtures. He had a lot of fixtures and delivered a lot of punches.
See, so when I say he's got good feet, don't be clowning me, Lee. He's got good feet. That's good.
You know what? You have hurt people. You have hurt people. You are a student of the game. This allowed me to be in an era in which I was. I actually like translating him from Arabic back to English. He is now my favorite thing. He's literally becoming my favorite thing to do. This might be a weekly segment. What the fuck is Evander saying?
Until these old guys go away, this is gonna burn out. They're getting way too much hype as it is already. I want this to come to, not for Fight Net Radio's sake or anything. I just want it. We got to get an ending to this. What is this all about? This is 3 or 4 weeks now we've been pushing this story.
Well, look, first of all, we don't have anything legitimately going on in boxing, right? So I knew that this was inevitably going to happen between making dream fights, right? I'm going to do Spanish back to English this time. It'll even be funnier.
Spanish.
Sure. Spanish back to English? Oh, yeah, it's not going to work because it's the way the tenses work, right?
Mm-hmm.
When boxing is everything you've done your whole life, I agree, that's what makes you successful. There were many things he didn't have. I agree. He still doesn't. But he was good at boxing. My mother said to me, you have to be grateful. No, it's not as fun. It's not as fun. He's not as fun.
Arabic sounds way better.
Yeah, let's go Spanish to Arabic.
Jeez.
Hold on. I'm going to get to where I want to be on this joke.
You were already there, bro. You were already there.
It was solid. I just think that there's a little something more here that I'm missing out on. Hold on.
Are we going down the rabbit hole here?
Oh, we are on a big rabbit hole. Is it your first time on a rabbit hole with me? This isn't even like the worst rabbit hole I've ever been on. I once spent 1 hour on one article that was just grammatically wrong.
Thanks.
All right, here we go. English to Spanish, Spanish to Arabic, Arabic to English. When boxing is everything you've done all your life, that's what makes you successful. See, it translates. There were a lot of things he didn't have, but he wasn't. He was good at boxing. My mom said to me, "You should be." It's lame. Evander was telling the truth. It's almost like an Evander lie detector. Oh my God. I realized retirement years ago I had reached my goals. I was the smallest heavyweight. Today's guys are a lot bigger. No, they're not. What are you talking about? They're fatter. What do you... All right.
They're a lot bigger. Lee, no one was 6'9" and 6'7". Those are some big ass men that are in the ring now.
Well, yeah, and they can actually box. Tyson Fury is a prototypical boxer. There's a reason why Klitschko was heavyweight champion for a decade, beating everybody in the top 10. I mean, it's just kind of how it was. He was a good big man with a good jab. There's a reason why Larry Holmes was champion for as long as he was. He had an amazing jab and he was a big giant dude. It is what it is. It is what it is. The Easton Assassin. That's all the boxing news we have. Was it good for you?
Yes.
Are we happy? Are we all happy with this?
That was terrific.
All right. Do you guys want to keep going at this point and do this fight that I'm sure is driving Andrew crazy to get to?
I do want to see this fight, bro. I want this.
Okay. I'm going to say at this point for the Fight Net Radio listeners, you're going to have to go watch the video because you're just not going to get the audio of these two dudes going off on me. We're going to do the insane assault followed by the actual fight. That'll be about 20 minutes worth of video. It is your bonus watch along, but you're going to have to go to Fight Net Radio, click on Facebook or YouTube, maybe even Instagram. But I think you can only put up 2 minutes of video on Instagram, which is bullshit. But
there's a way you can post more. I've never actually done it myself, but there's a way you can post more.
Is there? Right. So that's the end of the audio portion for you guys. Go away now and go to fightnetradio.com. Got it? Very happy.